You're watching Sports Central on CBS LA. Sponsored by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
And hello again, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Sports Central Saturday. I'm Jim Hill, joined by my partner, Mark Medina of Essentially Sports. And do we have a lot to talk about today, or what?
We sure do, Jim. Height of college basketball, NFL playoffs just around the corner, and always things going on with the Lakers and Clippers.
You better believe it. We're going to have it here right for you because you just saw it right here on CBS 2. Duke beats Florida State 91-87. 17 points and 9 assists for Cameron Boozer. Who do you think about, and what do you think about him?
Well, he's the real deal, Jim, and it's inevitable he's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. He has a lot of unique skill sets as a scorer, as a passer. He's obviously very well seasoned, Jim, coming from a basketball family with his pops, Carlos Boozer, playing the NBA. You know, there are some question marks about his mobility, his defensive consistency, but he has an all-around offensive game and great work ethic.
And of course, it's in his blood to be a great player.
Yeah, I think Carlos Boozer taught him well. He's not only been able to tell him stories about the NBA, but he's been very supportive with going to his games and giving him feedback, being his cheerleader, but also being his coach behind the scenes. So I think that can help him both at the college and the NBA level.
He's got 2 head coaches, a coach on the floor and a coach at home. All right, it was the Big Ten opener today. 17th ranked Kansas on the road to face UCF. The top NBA draft prospect in Darryn Peterson was back in the lineup for the Jayhawks after playing in only 4 games so far, but he didn't miss a beat. The freshman scored 23 points of his team's 41 points in a half. He made 4 threes. Kansas trailed 44-41 at halftime. Now Kansas trailed 58-56 in the second half. Peterson knocks down the three-pointer. He finished with 26 points. Peterson was on minutes restriction today, only playing 23 minutes. He set out the rest of the game. And this game went back and forth in the final minutes. Melvin Council makes the layup. He finished with 20 points, and the game was all tied at 72. But the Knights had an answer of their own in the next possession. Jordan Burks knocks down the corner three-pointer. UCF goes up by a score of 75-73. Now, Kansas made 3 free throws to make it a 1-point game. They needed to really foul, but Riley Kugel breaks away for the plus bucket. And how about this? UCF completes the upset, winning 81-75. All right, Mark, let's talk a little bit about Darryn Peterson right now because he showed why he's going to be one of the top picks in the NBA draft. Despite the loss, Kansas is still very dangerous and when he's healthy.
Yes, and that's the only really concern here. Can he stay healthy? Because he missed a lot of the second half tonight because he was feeling discomfort. He missed the previous 7 games with some hamstring issues and 2 games with some cramps. Jim, the last 5 games, he hasn't been able to finish games because of some lingering health problems. So that's the disconcerting part. The encouraging part is that he has the complete package. He has an all-around game as a scorer, defender. He has the basketball IQ and the consistent effort. But again, usually this question is regarding veteran players, but it can't apply to young players. Can he stay healthy?
Yes, for sure. All right, let's move on, my friends, because sticking with a fantastic freshman, A.J. Batista has BYU ranked 10th in the country. The Cougars are visiting Kansas State. Batista was really cooking in the first half, getting into the paint with ease. He had 14 points at halftime. Look at that one. All right, let's go to the second half. BYU leads at 59-50. Batista breaks down the defense and finds a big man for the strong finish. The freshman phenom really took over for the Cougars late. He gets the tough basket plus the foul. BYU is up by 12 points. A minute later, it's Batista again. He gets into the paint and gets it to go. And you know what? The very next possession, Batista puts the game away with another bucket down low. The freshman finished with a game-high 24 points. BYU has now won 10 straight. Final score, 83-73. And when you think about it, Mark, 24 points for A.J. Batista, but 7 turnovers as well. What do you think of the freshman's performance in his first true road game?
Well, Jim, you kind of captured it well. He's a really great scorer, but he's got to handle the ball better. Or the good thing about his scoring, he can do it all. He can finish at the rim. He can shoot from 3. He can create trips to the free throw line and cash them in. But 7 turnovers is way too much. Even though he has a lot of great athleticism and length, he's also not considered a great defender yet. And when you want to get playing time in the NBA, you got to be able to use that as a skill set. So he has the potential to be an all-around player, but right now his bread and butter is just in scoring.
Is there, or do you think there's going to be, or is there any room for jealousy here? Because when you have a young guy like that who's getting all the publicity, sometimes the upperclassmen I get a little jealous.
Yeah, that can always happen in college basketball, also happen in the pros, with a young player potentially taking a veteran's playing time. But I think there's also a way of these young prospects getting humbled. Just because they have a great scoring performance doesn't mean that they were blameless. I suspect that he's going to get a little constructive coaching because of his turnovers, as well as constant feedback about, hey, you got to be a good defender. You got the length and athleticism, all the tools. You got to box out. You got to know your defensive assignment. You got to rotate well. And so he's shown a lot of good things, but he has a lot of games left his college basketball season to improve.
And he's smart enough to know he doesn't know it all. That's for sure.
Indeed.
All right, everybody, to the ACC we go now in 12th ranked North Carolina on the road to face SMU. It was a battle in the first half. The Tar Heels trailed 29-26. Star freshman Caleb Wilson throws down 2 of his 13 points, and it was tied at 39 at halftime. But the Mustangs flipped the switch in the second half, and it was led by Boopie Miller. He puts Wilson on the floor, drains a three-pointer. Miller led the game with 27 points, 12 assists. SMU extends the lead now to 58-50. North Carolina struggled to contain Miller. He drains and drives in to throw down the alley-oop to Darryn Pierre for the dunk. And the Mustangs lead at 71-65. And SMU pulled away up 83-71. Corey Washington makes his 5th three-pointer. He finished with 23 points. The Mustangs go on to win it by a score of 97-83. All right, Mark, Caleb Wilson tied his season low, if you would say, 13 points. But can you tell by what NBA officials are going to be talking about now with this game? I know it wasn't his best game, but there's still a lot of pluses to it.
Yeah, the pluses are this. He's a great finisher. He has great athleticism. His defense is on par. He was saying earlier this season about his mindset, nobody's going to out-hustle me. That's an encouraging thing. When you have a young player that's willing to put in the work, both in practice, in games, that can expedite the learning curve. Now, his weakness is not great outside shooter. He needs to handle the ball better, but those are things that rookies typically struggle with, especially once they enter the NBA, because the three-point line is further out. But I suspect because of his work ethic, he'll turn his weaknesses into strengths.
And his veteran teammates are going to like that work ethic. That is for sure.